Hey Mastodon fans, and welcome to this week's episode of Feature Friday, presented by Fort Financial. I'm Aaron Johnson, Assistant Director of Media Services, and this week I'm joined by a senior on the women's volleyball team, Julia Ware. Hi Julia, how are you doing?
Hi Aaron, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Let's start by giving the audience a quick introduction of yourself.
Okay. Hi, I'm Julia. As Aaron just said, I'm a senior here on the women's volleyball team. I major in psychology, and I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. It's actually McCordsville, which is like half an hour from Indianapolis. I went to Mount Vernon High School, and I'm a libero.
You mentioned your major is psychology. What are your career goals with that?
So it started out, I came in here wanting to be an education major, and I actually last minute wanted to switch to nursing. And so I kind of got caught in the middle of this. Obviously, we switched to Purdue, and nursing program is through IU. So I kind of needed to figure out another plan or figure out how I could do it. So I basically settled on being a psychology major, getting a bachelor in science, and then after this, I'm going to go to a nursing program.
Tell us a little bit about your journey to become a Mastodon.
So it started, I would say the first time I thought about playing college volleyball was probably in middle school. I have a pretty athletic family, and so they kind of paved the way of college athletics. And I remember my coach, I was playing like a church league kind of, and my coach for that was like, hey, you're pretty talented. You might want to think about getting into club volleyball. Maybe if you want to take it serious, you could probably go farther in life with this. And so that was the first time I kind of thought like, oh, maybe I could play in college. And so I started playing club more seriously. And my high school team was actually pretty good. There's a decent amount of girls that play in college as well. There's a girl that went to Valpo, a girl that went to Marion, and Marion just won a national championship, actually. A girl that went to Ohio Dominican. So there's a bunch of girls on high school that went to college volleyball and then also club, but that's a lot of teams. And so that kind of got me into it more so, and I started talking to schools and going on visits. And when I came here, I kind of just fell in love. I loved the girls. That was a big part of it. And I remember I actually went one-on-one with a senior. So she was a junior. She was a senior my freshman year. Her name's Natalie Seiler, if anybody knows her. She's really fun. She was really good. And so I remember I had a one-on-one conversation with her, and she was telling me how genuinely, like, family atmosphere the girls are and how just, like, genuine and home it felt when you got here. Like, you were just accepted in. And I truly felt that when I was a freshman. And that was just, like, a big part of my decision was the girls there and how they were just really fun, and it was like family.
Now, your brother played Division I basketball. Was there an expectation for you and your younger brother to play sports in college?
So there was never really an expectation. My mom was very supportive of whatever we wanted to do. I actually did play basketball back in middle school, and both my brothers play basketball, so it wasn't like an expectation that I would play, but, you know, it was kind of like, hey, like, we're a basketball family, get into it. And so obviously when I didn't like that as much as volleyball, it was just no problem. Like, my mom supported me. And even though my brothers played in college, it wasn't an expectation. It was just kind of showed me how it was. My oldest brother, Taylor, played at IU, which obviously growing up in Indiana, that's just like a dream to go play basketball for IU. And then my other brother, he's a year older than me, went to go play at UIndy, which was also like a great atmosphere for basketball. And so I just saw how awesome college athletics were, and I just wanted to follow in their footsteps. And so it wasn't really an expectation as much as kind of an example of something that I would want to do.
What has volleyball done for you from a social standpoint?
Honestly, it has brought me some of the best relationships I have. I am still friends with girls that I played with in 7th grade, and they live in different states. I actually just saw one of my club teammates. She goes to school out in California. I see her like maybe once a year, every few years, and we're still, when I see her, it's like no time passed. It's so much fun. And I'm still super close with all my high school teammates. I still talk to them all the time. I'm going to go Zoom with them tonight. And so it's just awesome. Like, I've made all these close friendships that I know will last like my whole life. Like, I will talk to these girls forever. And they're just very genuine friendships that I've had so many memories with just across the country, traveling, playing games. And it's just awesome that I have that part of my life.
Talk to me a little bit about what it meant to earn a berth to the NIVC last season.
So that was pretty cool because obviously that's the first time we've done that. So I remember we went to Denver, played our conference championship, and we lost, I believe, the second round. And it was a good game, but couldn't pull it out. So everyone's upset. And I think we went to the locker room, probably a 10-minute turnaround coming out of the locker room. And coach is like, hey, team, bring it in. We might not be done. I think we might be going on. And we were just like, what? Like, we're still playing? Like, okay. Like, everyone's obviously up for it. We love more competition. Nobody wants their season to be over. So when he finally, I forget how long it took after that it was official, but we finally got the bid into the NIVC and we kept practicing. We went out to Bowling Green, played the game. Couldn't pull that match out, but even just being there and being a part of it and earning that bid was just a huge thing for us. And it just really established more confidence in us that we can go farther. We didn't think that was necessarily a thing, and then it happened. And so, like, we're making history for the first time. We're going to keep doing it. We're going to hope to win conference. We're going to go to the Horizon League this year and play new teams, play new matches, and we're going in with this new confidence that we have.
Speaking of the Horizon League, what are some of your expectations for the first year in the league?
So I know that the Horizon League, word of mouth, is good. And we love the competition. Like, who doesn't like playing better teams? I don't know if they're necessarily better than the Summer League. I don't know if they're the same competition. But either way, any type of competition is just something that we want to take on. New competition, you want to establish yourself. We want to come in and show people that we're good, that we belong in any league. And so it's like a new challenge, and we're really excited to take it on and take on these new teams and see what they got and show them what we got.
Now, we in Media Services have gotten to know you pretty well over the last few years since you've been working in our office. What has been your favorite part of working in the Media Services office at Purdue Fort Wayne?
Honestly, not to flatter you, Erin is one of my bosses, but my bosses are awesome. They're very understanding on my schedule. I've worked since high school, so I had a waitressing job once I loved. I had a nanny job once I loved. Obviously, I worked at this pizza place that like so many high school kids worked at. But all those jobs, I loved them, but it was just a little hard because it's hard to explain to people that my sport is also like a job. There's so big of a time commitment with it. And it just comes first. Like, your sport comes first. Obviously academics too, but your sport just comes above all. Like, you have this commitment to this team, especially in college. And so it's hard when you have different jobs to understand, like, hey, yeah, I'm committed to my job, but sports number one. So it's really nice in media services because obviously I'm working for the school. So if I have like, hey, oh my gosh, my practice, it's 10 minutes over, I had to talk to coach, I can come to work and they're understanding about it. So it's pretty nice doing that. And also I get to go to the games, and like one of my jobs is social media. So I'll take the videos on Instagram and post them. And so I just like sports in general. As I said, I come from a sports family. My brothers play basketball. My sister ran cross country. She played lacrosse. I played volleyball. Like, we just love sports in my family. So doing the stories and just being able to go work and watch a game is just like the dream. I love it.
All right, you ready for some rapid fire?
Hit me with it. I'm ready.
Favorite social media platform?
Instagram.
Favorite board game?
Ooh. Clue, maybe? Guess Who. Actually, I love Guess Who.
Favorite thing to do with teammates?
Play cards or watch a movie.
Favorite movie?
Remember the Titans. It's a classic.
Go-to music before a game?
Oof, that's hard. Okay, I usually have like go-to songs in the moment, but I would say definitely rap. They're usually rap, obviously.
Halloween's coming up. What's your favorite Halloween costume?
That I've ever worn or just in general? I'm gonna do that I've worn. One time, I had a cat growing up and he was my cat. And so my mom, obviously I was younger, but my mom sewed together a Halloween costume and I was my cat. So I had like his exact spots on me. I had a big white spot on my tummy like he had. And I say that's my favorite.
What's your biggest strength?
My biggest strength. I would say, I actually get this a lot. My mom says it to me a lot. I like to see the best in everyone. So I feel like that's cliche, but it helps me to be very understanding because I can see, like I try to see where people are coming from a lot. So I would say that's a strength because it helps me with patience and understanding.
That's a good note to end on. That will do it for this week's episode of Feature Friday. Thanks to Julia Ware for joining us this week and to Fort Financial for sponsoring this week's episode. Be sure to check out GoMastodons.com and follow Purdue Fort Wayne Athletics on social media. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. Go Dots!